So, have you seen this picture? It's wild.
I haven't seen it, no.
It's like, okay, imagine, right? You open up Yahoo News and you see a house just smack in the middle of a brand new Chinese motorway.
Wow.
It's this guy, Huang Ping. And
oh, yeah, I think I did see that.
some are calling him the stubborn grandfather because he
Wow.
refused to relocate
Wow.
for this massive construction project. And now,
So they just built the road around him?
yeah, his little two-story house
Wow.
is an
Whoa.
island
That's nuts.
in a sea of asphalt.
It makes you think, like,
It really does.
what's more important, you know? Like, progress versus...
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we're going to try and figure out,
Yeah.
like, WHY, this guy Huang held out,
Okay.
what are these nail houses?
Right.
What do they reveal about China's development boom?
Mm,
And ultimately, like, what this all means
yeah.
for the people caught in the middle.
Yeah. Interesting.
But first, like, who is this Mr. Huang?
yeah.
He lives in this house in Jinxi, China, with his 11-year-old grandson.
No, just him and his grandson.
And he was offered a pretty good amount of money to move,
How much are we talking?
180,000 pounds.
Wow.
But he said no deal.
I wonder if he regrets that now that they built a motorway around his house.
The article actually mentions
Is it-
that he does.
Oh, wow.
He feels like he lost a big bet,
Hmm.
and he wishes he had taken that government offer.
Oh, man. I bet it's got to be loud.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine living
Just cars whizzing by all day and night.
basically on a construction site?
And the dust.
All the dust and noise.
I can't imagine feeling any peace there.
It would be so jarring.
Yeah, and just visually, the motorway,
I know.
it splits in two to go around his house
Right.
and then merges back together.
It's like almost poetic in a way.
It really is, like a rock in a stream.
Yeah.
But why, though? That stubbornness.
Right.
Like, it's got to come from somewhere.
Well, the article quotes a local official saying that Huang was dissatisfied with the offer, but they don't say why.
Interesting. So was it the money? Or was it something more than that?
Yeah. What was it about?
Like maybe he feels really connected to his home.
Right.
Or was it just the principle of it all, you know?
Makes you wonder.
Really does.
That's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah.
We've all got that place,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a childhood home or a park or something.
A place that makes you feel grounded.
Yeah. You feel grounded. You feel
Yeah.
like yourself.
Totally.
What happens when progress threatens those places?
That's a good question.
And that brings us to nail houses.
Nail houses, yeah.
These are pretty common in China, right?
They are, yeah. It refers to those homes where, like, the owners refuse to move, you know, for these development projects.
Oh, so this guy Huang isn't alone
Nope, not at all.
in taking this stand.
These nail houses, they're often seen as symbols of resistance.
Interesting.
You know, a way for people to push back against unfair treatment or, like, insufficient compensation.
And it sounds like
Oh, it gets a lot of attention.
it's gotten a lot of attention.
Oh, yeah.
They even nicknamed his place the Strong Nail House.
Oh, wow.
And people are going there like to take pictures.
Oh, yeah, I bet it's a site.
It's like this, you know.
It's like David and Goliath, right?
Yes. This little house
This little house.
standing up to this massive infrastructure project.
Yeah, and everyone loves to see the underdog win,
Totally.
or at least hold their own.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
Not all nail houses have the same ending.
That's true.
The article mentions this other case in Shanghai.
Oh, yeah.
A 5-story building
5 stories. Wow.
that stood for 14 years
14 years.
before finally being demolished
Oh,
in 2017.
so they held out for a long time.
And they eventually accepted 300,000 pounds.
Okay, so more money, but they still had to move.
So why the different outcomes?
That's a good question.
What makes one person hold out when another person takes the deal?
Yeah, like what are the pressures at play?
Right.
Imagine yourself in their shoes.
Right.
Is it just the money, or is there something more?
Social factors, maybe?
Yeah, like social factors, legal battles.
Emotional ties to their community.
All of those could influence the decisions.
You know, thinking about that Shanghai case,
Hmm.
14 years,
Long time.
that's got to mess with you, right?
I can only imagine living in limbo like that.
It couldn't have been easy.
It's about so much more than just bricks and mortar.
So true.
It's about that feeling of home,
That sense of belonging. Yeah.
security. When that's disrupted, it takes a toll.
It's a compelling story, this one man and his house.
It is.
But what does it tell us
Yeah.
about the bigger picture in China?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a country undergoing rapid development.
Right. So these kinds of clashes are inevitable, aren't they?
Yeah, are they just a part of...
A part of progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So let's dig into that a bit deeper.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, it's like this tension
Yeah.
simmering beneath the surface. You've got this economic growth, this ambition.
To modernize.
Yeah. And then you've got these individuals who are so rooted.
In their homes and communities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the article mentions that
Yeah.
a lot of these nail houses end up like surrounded by rubble.
Really?
Yeah, or the developers just build right up to their doorstep.
It's like this.
Can you imagine
Just trying to picture it.
this lonely house, standing in the middle of all this
Chaos.
construction and chaos? Yeah.
It really does.
That imbalance of power, it's just so
Yeah.
striking.
Almost dystopian.
Yeah, it is.
And it makes me wonder, like, if all the media attention,
Right.
if that plays a role,
Is it?
does it amplify the problem?
I think it's partly because
Julia,
the situation is so visually striking.
right.
It's hard to look away from that, like a lone holdout
Yeah.
against, this backdrop of,
Skyscrapers.
yeah, gleaming skyscrapers,
But it also shines a light
It does.
on something deeper,
Yeah, that struggle.
to maintain individual rights.
In the face of...
This rapid societal transformation,
Exactly.
it's so easy to get caught up in the economic miracle of
right.
China's rise.
Yeah, we often forget about the people.
We forget about the people.
Yeah, like what about their lives?
Right, the human cost.
Yeah, and that's where eminent domain comes in.
Oh, eminent domain.
That's the government's right to take private property
Oh, I've heard of that.
for public use. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the owner doesn't want to sell.
Doesn't want to sell.
Yeah.
So that happens.
It happens everywhere. Yeah.
Not just China,
Not just China, no.
but the way it's applied varies widely.
Yeah. And I think
So in China, how does that play out?
it seems like the scales are tipped a bit more
Fair.
towards the government side, yeah.
So maybe that explains
It could.
why we see so many of these nail houses in China.
Mm-hmm. It's not just about being stubborn.
It's about fighting for what's fair,
Yeah, exactly.
feeling heard,
Having a say
respected.
in what happens to their property.
Yeah, it's not just the money. It's,
Imagine having to uproot your entire family.
oh yeah, your community.
Leave your community, start over.
If you were new,
It's got to take a toll.
a huge toll.
It's a huge toll, yeah.
So we're seeing,
It's like a collision of values almost.
yeah, in the West,
Right.
we prioritize individual rights.
Individual rights, private property.
Private property, yeah. In
There's
China.
a stronger emphasis on the collective good,
Yeah.
national development.
So that's where
It gets complex.
it gets really complex. How do you
There's
balance?
those competing interests.
Right.
Is there even a way
Is there a way to do it?
to achieve progress without trampling on individual rights?
That's the question, isn't it?
It's a tough one.
Very tough.
But going back to Huang Ping,
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking, what's his life going to be like?
Yeah, when all the construction's done.
When that motorway's done,
When that motorway's done, yeah.
is he going to find any peace?
Right. With all those cars
Surrounded by all that traffic?
zipping by. Yeah, I mean, will he regret his decision?
Even more than he already does.
Even more.
The article doesn't really mention
Not-
what happens to the people who stay.
Right. The long-term implications.
But you got to wonder about the psychological...
And emotional.
Yeah, all that noise and commotion.
So it makes me think about what progress really means.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Is it just buildings and roads?
Is that it?
Or is it?
What about people?
Yeah.
Their well-being?
Their well-being, their communities.
That's a good question.
It's a good question. And I don't think
I don't think there's an easy answer.
there are easy answers. You know, it's funny.
What's that?
We talk about progress
Right.
in these really tangible terms like
Yeah, like building.
buildings,
Everything.
highways, technology.
Right. All that.
But what about the intangible stuff?
Oh, the intangible stuff.
What about
Community. Well, yeah.
belonging, that sense of,
Peace of mind, even.
yeah, peace of mind? I think those are those things.
Often overlooked
Overlook.
when we're chasing economic growth.
And that brings us back to Huang Ping.
Yeah, Huang Ping.
He's become this symbol,
Of resistance.
this stubborn grandfather holding out.
Yeah.
But
what if?
what if he represents something bigger?
Like what?
A longing for a different kind of progress.
Hmm.
Like progress that doesn't just mean bigger and faster,
A progress that includes people.
includes people.
Yeah.
Maybe his story is a reminder.
A reminder that progress shouldn't
Shouldn't come at the cost
give our humanity.
of our shared humanity.
Yeah, we got to find ways to grow.
Or develop
Yeah.
without displacing people.
Without displacing the people who live there.
Yeah. And maybe that means
Maybe it means rethinking.
rethinking how we approach
these situations.
Yeah,
instead of just viewing it as
a battle.
a battle, developers versus residents.
What if we work together
Yeah, find solutions.
that benefit everyone?
That's the ideal situation, isn't it?
Find a sweet spot where
progress and well-being
Yeah.
can coexist.
instead of just
bulldozing
ahead.
What if we listen to the people?
Yeah. What if we
Listen who are
on that?
actually going to be affected
Yeah, and incorporated their needs
into the plans.
into the plans.
It's about making development
But more inclusive.
more inclusive, more equitable.
Yeah, so that it values
People's experience
people's lived experiences.
as much as the economic indicators.
Exactly. And, you know, when we talk about these nail houses and these stubborn individuals,
Yeah.
I can't help but admire their courage.
It is courageous to stand
They're
up
willing to stand up
for what they believe in,
for what they believe in,
even when it seems like
even when the odds
are stacked against them.
Yeah. And it makes me think, like, what would I do
In that situation.
if it were my home,
Your home. Yeah.
my community?
Yeah, it's easy to judge.
It's easy to judge from the outside,
When you're not the one
but
whose home is about to be demolished,
it's a lot more complicated.
it forces us to confront
Our values,
our values.
our priorities.
What's more important?
Yeah. What's more important?
Individual rights or the collective good?
Home or economic advancement?
Tough questions.
Tough questions.
No easy answers.
No easy answers.
And I think that's what makes this story
That's the beauty of it.
so interesting.
That's not just about one man in his house.
It's a mirror.
It's a mirror reflecting back.
It's making us think about
Yeah, what kind of world?
we want to build
What are we willing to sacrifice?
to get there.
So that's our deep dive.
Into the world of nail houses.
Stubborn grandfathers,
Progress.
progress in a rapidly changing world.
A rapidly changing world.
We hope this gave you a new perspective,
Some food for thought.
maybe some inspiration,
Yeah, to look beyond the headlines
and engage with the world around you.
in a more meaningful way.
So until next time,
Stay curious.
and keep questioning.